What's up, guys? On today's episode of Race Car and Chill, I have another IS300 DIY for you. Today we're doing inner and outer tie rod ends. First of all, I know my cars are dirty. Don't say anything about it. It just rained yesterday. But the reason I need to replace these inner tie rods is because last time I was at the track, I pushed the car a little too hard. I went off track and I ended up bending some suspension stuff. So today we're going to fix that clunk I have in the front end. It should be a pretty straightforward install, so I'm just going to time lapse most of it. I will stop the video to show you guys, you know, specific tips and tricks that you need to see or that will make the job easier. But hopefully after watching this video, you can just run out to the driveway real quick and get the job done in a couple minutes. Okay, first things first, I want to show you guys what we're working with. These are the inner arms. They, here's the part number. I got Moog. They're from Rock Auto. I got a good price on them. They are omnidirectional, so it doesn't matter if they're left or right. But the outers, here are the part numbers. Also got from Rock Auto. They are Beck & Arnleys, but they do have a left and a right. So here are the part numbers. This is for the right. You'll see it's got an R stamped into it. And the left one has an L stamped into it there. So these are the only things that are directional, left and right. These boots are also universal, not directional. Here's the part number for those. Again, another Beck & Arnley product off of Rock Auto. They come with 2 zip ties and it's a rubber boot. Pretty simple. Just want to make sure you guys don't have any questions on what you need to order to get this job done. Okay, so this is the arm we're going to be working on today. First things first, you want to take the cotter pin out because that nut will not go anywhere with that thing in there. Now the nut on there is going to be a 17. There you have it, 17 mil. Now the locking nut is also, oh, it's not a 17, looks like it's going to be it's a 19. There you go, not too tight. Alright, so to take the brake off, there's going to be 2 17mm bolts just back here. One on top, one on bottom. Now you should break both of them before you take them off, because once you break one of them, or once you take the other one off, all the weight's going to be on the other one, and it's going to be more difficult to break loose. These bolts are pretty tight. It should be tight, at least. They're holding on your brakes. Alright. Alright, get your hammer. Of course, it would be too easy if that worked the way it should. Let me get the puller. Now, from the research I did online, this should just pop right out. Obviously, mine's not. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend getting one. I think this was like 20-30 bucks at Harbor Freight, but it's worth it even if you only use it once. I use it all the time. These things are awesome, so get yourself one of these. There we go. Now, you want to count these rotations because you want to use the same exact amount of rotations that it took to get this off as to put on. So we have 1, 2, 3, 17, 18, about 18 and a quarter rotations. So you need to get that count right when you put the other one on, because that's going to mess up your alignment if you don't. Okay, so to get this boot off is going to be our first order of business. It's got 2 clamps. Here you can just use a pair of channel locks, pliers, whatever to get that clamp off. This one here, it's got a metal zip tie, I think is what they call them, from Lexus, but it's you basically got to use a flathead screwdriver and a pair of pliers to pry these loose, and then that should be it. Okay, so this is what that little stainless zip tie thing looks like. Now I want to show you guys how to take it off in case you're planning on reusing it and the boot. In my case, I'm not going to because I'm going to be replacing them, but so to take this off, this was clamped tight, so you gotta unfold these little flaps out, and then you grab a screwdriver and you pry it right here. And as you pry it, it will deform a little bit just because it is metal. But if you see, there's like a little slot that this little piece goes through. So you want to pry that out. And then once that pries out, the clamp just lets go. So you got to pull these out, make them flat because they were folded in like that. So you want to unfold those there and then just pry up this little piece here because this little metal tab was holding it shut. Okay, now to get the inner tie rod out, you see this little flap here? Let me get the screwdriver and point it out to you guys. Right here. You gotta bend these flaps out because they're actually holding the whole thing in, and then you'll grab a wrench here and put a wrench. This side's flat, so you'll put a wrench there, and you'll put a wrench on the outside, and it should be as easy as just unscrewing it and screwing the new one in. Alright, as you can see, this little tab here, I bent it out with the screwdriver and used a hammer too. Did the same thing on the other side. Now, I should just be able to grab this with a socket, or I'm sorry, with a wrench, and turn it off. Now, I don't have a wrench big enough, so I'll be using an adjustable monkey wrench to hopefully get a good grip on it. Alright, once you get it broken loose, it should come out easily by hand, and then it's simple as putting the other one back on with the new boot. One thing you don't want to forget is putting this little piece of metal here. You want to put it in with the tabs facing inward, just like so. Now after you get this hammered in, you're going to want, or after you get this screwed in, you're going to want to hammer in this little lip here again, this way and on the other side again, so this can't come undone by itself. Alright, there's the hammered in lip. Now this is ready for a boot and an outer tie rod. Now you want to remember that we counted 18 turns, so you want to put 18 back onto it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 17, and 18. Now you guys can bring this nut back here and tighten it down. Now that that's tight, you want to get your cottering pin. Don't forget to put that in there. Alright, we are just about to start the other side. Oh, look who's here! My boy Spencer and his Miata just pulled up.
Should have stopped there. The back of my car looks so atrocious. Slipping.
You guys might remember this Miata from another episode of Race Car and Chill. We were doing more suspension work.
She is fully aligned.
What's up?
Cool. How you doing?
Good dude, good dude.
Thanks for having me back.
Doing some race carring. Now we're about to do some chilling. A lot less work. But I got one side done, so let's get this shit done. It's easy now. Okay, so we got the car book back together and we're test driving it. Seems better. My boy Spencer is gonna hold on to the camera.
Rip it! Rip it! That was so violent.
Oh, that burnt rubber smell.
Woo! Man, it's been days since I've smelt that.
I think the car test's out.
I think it works, boys.